Hello students and welcome to the online learning platform of Brilliant. Today I am here with a presentation for the subject of English for class 11. The topic of my presentation is Poetry 3 Laburnum Top. Let's know more about the poet. So the poet of this poetry is Ted Hughes. Ted Hughes is known and remembered as an incredibly prolific poet, translator, editor, and children's author. He was appointed as the Poet Laureate of England in 1984 and held this post till his death. Let us discuss about the title. So the title of the poem is Laburnum Top. Laburnum is a tree with beautiful yellow flowers, and as the winter approaches, the leaves start yellowing. As the poetry revolves around the laburnum tree, so the poem is titled as Laburnum Top. So from the starting till the end, you will find that the entire plot of the poetry is revolving round that laburnum tree, and so it is rightly titled as Laburnum Top. The poetry creates an image of an autumn season. So you can now see the image of a laburnum tree. So you can see how it is giving a yellow aura, a yellow ambience to the surrounding. Right, so this is a laburnum tree, and as I told you that it has yellowing leaves, so it means that it is describing and symbolizing the season of autumn. Then let's talk about the theme of the poetry. So children, if you just recollect a little about your previous studied knowledge in science and environmental science, you will remember that we all read about ecology, interaction between the various biotic and abiotic factors in ecology, right? You remember those things? So here also the things are the same. Only thing is it's a literary expression. And as it is a language dominated expression, so it also talks about the emotional interaction between the factors of the nature, right? So in this poetry, the poet has highlighted a laburnum tree which was very silent and still, right? It was very passive. But suddenly it gets lively. And how it gets lively? You can see this small little bird over there in the image. So this small little yellow colored bird is called goldfinch, right? So before the arrival of this bird, the tree was very silent. But when this bird arrived and perched on the branch of the tree, suddenly the tree got lively. Now the thing is, why did the bird come? The bird perched on its branch because the bird has made its nest there in the thick branches, and the young chicks were waiting for this bird. So this bird has got the shelter from the tree, and in return the tree is getting liveliness from this bird. So you can see the interaction between the two factors of nature. Right, so this is the central idea of this poetry, right? So let's proceed to the content. In stanza 1, the content says, the laburnum top is silent, quite still, in the afternoon yellow September sunlight. A few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen. So first and foremost thing, children, you will have to observe one thing, that though it's a content of a poetry, but I'm unable to give a rhythmic impact to it. The reason behind is that the rhyming scheme of this poetry is free verse. Right, so what do we call it? We call it free verse because there is no systematic pattern of rhythm here. Right, so If I talk about the paraphrasing, Laburnum top, before the arrival of the bird, the poet is describing that the tree was very silent, it was passive, it was still, and it was September month, afternoon time, so there was a bright sunlight. So bright sunlight, that yellow color, right? And then the laburnum tree is also yellow with the yellow flowers, and the leaves also yellow. Few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen, and the seeds have started falling also because it's onset of autumn season, right? Now, what are the figures of speech in this stanza? First one is September sunlight, which is alliteration, right? What is alliteration? It is the repetition of consonant sound. Consonant sound at the starting of the word. So September, sunlight, sir sound getting repeated. So this is alliteration. Coming up to the second, that is imagery. What is imagery? Imagery is a very impactful device used by literature, that when you read the content as a reader, automatically a visual description arises in front of you. So the things become picturesque, right? So when we were reading these lines, I'm sure we all experienced a yellow aura all around, right? All talking about yellowish tint. So this is called as imagery, right? To make the things more clear, let us see this image. So you can see the image, you can see the bright sunlight, you can see the yellow flowers, you can see the fallen seeds, yellow fallen seeds. So this yellowish tint, I'm sure we all have already visualized something like this, right? So that is what is imagery. Going ahead to the next stanza, right? So let's see the content of the next stanza. Till the goldfinch comes with a twitching chirrup, a suddenness, a startlement at a branch end. Then sleek as a lizard and alert and abrupt, she enters the thickness, and a machine starts of chitterlings, and a tremor of wings and trillings. The whole tree trembles and thrills. Right? So what are the words which are coming up here? So let's see the words. The words are like, the first word is twitching. That means the sudden jerk movement. So when the bird came and perched on the branch, suddenly there was a startled movement, right? There was a sudden surprising movement that came up when the bird came and perched at the end of the branch, right? The next word is tremor of wings. It refers to the vibration of the wings. So when the bird came, the bird was also flapping the wings. The young chicks, seeing the bird, they also got thrilled and they also started moving the small little wings. So the vibration of wings is being referred here. Then the next word is trillings. So trillings means to produce a chirping sound. Chirping sound made by the birds, right? So when the goldfinch came and it perched at the end of the branch, suddenly there was a jerk movement, right? And then the bird is compared to a lizard. Why to a lizard? Because it moved with the same sleek approach. It was also very alert and very abrupt. Abrupt means quickly the bird entered the thick bushes of the laburnum tree, and the machine started. Now what is machine? Machine is something which gives energy, right? So when the bird came, suddenly the tree and the birds, the young chick, they all got energy. So suddenly a machine started, right? And a tremor of wings and trillings. So suddenly the young chicks also started chirping, and the whole tree trembles and thrills. So that passive, dull, silent tree now has started trembling, that is shaking, and thrills means excited with the arrival of the bird, right? So let's discuss the poetic devices here. The poetic devices, the two that are quite similar, that is metaphor and simile. So simile is something that we use for comparison, children. So here, and comparison using the word as and like. So it is very easy to identify. You can see sleek as a lizard. So as is used and the bird is compared to a lizard. So this is simile. And metaphor is indirect comparison. Indirect comparison means when you directly imply the two things without using like and as. Like a machine starts. Now what is machine here? Here actually the tree's movement and the birds, they are all compared to machine, that as machine starts, similarly the entire movement of the tree and the movement of the bird, that is acting as a machine, right? So this is what is metaphor. Another figure of speech which is here, that is personification. Now what is personification? Giving human qualities to something which is not human. Okay, so here the last line, the whole tree trembles and thrills. Now trembling and thrill, these are human qualities, but here the poet is using these qualities for the tree. So that is what is personification. Right, children? So here you can see the image of this goldfinch with the nest and see how the young chicks are waiting to get the fuel from the mother, right? So this is the second stanza. Let's move on to the third stanza. It is the engine of her family. She stokes it full, then flirts out to a branch end, showing her barred face identity mask. Then with eerie delicate whistle, chirrup whisperings, she launches away towards the infinite, and the laburnum subsides to empty. So let's see the meanings first. Flirts out. Flirts out means lead on to. Second is eerie. Eerie means weird and strange. Right? Eerie means weird and strange. So, in this particular paragraph, the poet is actually comparing the bird to the engine that the poet has compared in the previous paragraph itself. And the poet says that she was like the engine for the family, because after her coming, the family got energy. She stokes it full. The meaning of stoke is to add fuel to the engine. So she was the one who brought fuel and energy to the tree and the young chick. And after that, flirts out to a branch end, means after feeding the young chick, she moves towards the end of the branch and then moves out. I mean, lead on to means now she is ready to leave. Showing her barred face identity mask. Now what is the meaning of barred? Barred means stripy. Stripy means something which has stripes, right? So it doesn't mean that the face of the bird had stripes. It means that now in this pandemic we all have experienced what is mask perfectly. So when the bird was perching on the branch, the face of the bird was being covered with those flowers of the laburnum tree, which were a little striped, right? So that is the reason here it is said that the bird had a recognition identity, and that was the striped face mask. So that is the flowers which are coming in front of the face of the bird. Then with airy delicate whistle chirrup whispering, she launches away. So then suddenly with a weird and strange sound made, she leaves. Right? Again you see she is used here for the bird. So this is also personification you can take up. So she launches away towards the infinite. Infinite is the sky. And the laburnum subsides to empty. So again the laburnum subsides to empty means the tree again becomes silent and still, as it was before the arrival of the goldfinch. Right, children? So you all have seen that how the entire interaction was between the tree and the bird. right? They both were creating an impact on each other. Okay, seeing the figure of speech, one I told you, which is a generalized figure of speech, that is she is used, it means it's a personification. The other one, which is a little complicated, means you might not be very much aware of it, that is transferred epithet. Now what is epithet? Epithet means adjective. Transferred means when the adjective is transferred from the actual noun which it is describing to another noun. Now here, barred face. Was the face barred and stripy? No, it was actually the flowers which were barred, right? So the mask was actually barred, but here the adjective is used with face. So this is called as transferred epithet. So children, thank you for listening to the video, and I'm sure you would have understood it, and I believe and I expect that you people are studying well, you people are spending a good time with your family, you people are enjoying your lessons, and stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.